Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Force here, continuing our Game of the Week coverage of Scrolls, the digital collectible card game from Minecraft developer Mojang. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the store. Now, I initially planned to continue to show you guys some more gameplay before we looked at the store, but there's been this huge uproar in the first impressions video, people talking about how they think the game's pay to win and that the people who spend the most money are going to have the best advantage. I don't really think that that's the case. I want to show you exactly how the store works, and hopefully this will give you a better understanding of where the money aspect comes into play and how you actually acquire cards here in Scrolls. So first of all, let me say this. There is, of course, a difference between an in-game currency, which is gold, and then the real-world money, which is shards. You basically spend money to get shards, and then you can use those shards to make purchases. Now, what can you purchase with the shards? Well, what you can purchase with the shards, there's a few things. You can purchase avatars, which are just going to be in-game representations of your character for your profile. So that's just a cosmetic item, nothing fantastic. You can also purchase pre-constructed decks, which are going to be a deck of 50 cards for the 3 different factions in this game, which are the growth, the energy, and the order. So you can use real money to purchase that. Buying a pre-constructed deck cost 500 gems, shards, which 500 shards would run you about $5. See, you can see $5 will give you 600 shards. So just for about $5, you could purchase one of these pre-constructed decks. Now, I did it for the sake of coverage for this week, but it's nothing that you absolutely have to do because you can spend in-game currency for that same thing. You can purchase these pre-constructed decks with in-game currency as well. It costs, if you want to get the pre-constructed decks with in-game currency, it costs 6,500 gold. Now, how long would it take you to get that? Well, if you win a multiplayer match, just as a reference point, you can get anywhere from 250 to 300 or closer to 400 gold. And a match can take anywhere between 15 minutes to 30 minutes. So basically, I would say after about an hour, I usually get about 1,000 gold. That's typically what it is. I usually play a few games. I typically win a few more than I lose. I'm actually, strangely enough, doing very well. I'm ranked 125 in this game right now. I don't know how many people are playing, but I'm ranked 125. It's probably just because I've been playing too much, though. But the point is that if you're winning, say you're winning 50% of the time, I think you would probably average just under 1,000 gold an hour. So maybe an hour to an hour and a half would get you 1,000 gold. So to get one of these pre-constructed decks, if you're just going with the in-game currency, it's going to take you a couple of afternoons. That's absolutely the case. Or you could spend $5 and you could get one of those pre-constructed decks. However, when you first pick up the game, you get to pick one of those 3 that you get for free. You don't have to buy all of these, so you get a pre-constructed set of 50 cards for free as soon as you purchase the game. You don't need to work for it with in-game currency, and you don't need to spend real money. It's only if you want the other 2 that you're going to have to do that. The other thing that you can buy with real money is these Just For You cards. Now, this is a set of 6 cards, which is individual for each person's account, and they rotate every 7 days. So every 7 days, there will be a new set of 6 cards that we could potentially purchase here. And there's a mix of commons, uncommons, and rares. So you're gonna notice that's a rare right there. And then I believe this one's a rare as well. I'm not actually entirely sure. There's a color coding system, but the color system appears to change for each of the 3 different factions, the growth, energy, and order. So I'm not entirely sure, but I think just it's the more elaborate cards that are the rare ones. You're going to notice the fraying here is basic, relatively basic, a little bit more detailed, very detailed. So I think it's the ones with the very elaborate borders that are the rare cards. So I'm guessing it's just actually these 2 that are the rare ones. I believe that's how it works anyways. So there's a couple of rare cards, a couple of uncommons, and a couple of commons. In fact, that looks like exactly what it is. 2 common cards, 2 uncommon cards, and 2 rare cards. They're randomized, 6 cards, every 7 days they refresh. So you can directly purchase these cards with real world money. It's for the rare cards, 120 shards, which again is going to equate to what, about a $1. So you could technically say you could buy a playset of these, which in any given deck you can have 3 of an individual card. So you could buy a playset of these for $3 and you would have 3 rare cards for a deck. So that would give you a slight advantage, but it's rotated every 7 days, you don't have access to purchase the full library of cards within Scrolls, only these select few once every week. Now, how are you getting most of your cards in this game? Well, besides working for the pre-constructed decks, say you didn't want to do that and you just wanted to pick growth, energy, or order, and you just wanted to play that color or that faction. I don't know the specific terminology they use for it. So if you were to just pick one of these, you start the game, you get one for free. Most of your additional cards are coming from these random scrolls, and this works just like other trading card games. You know, you play Magic the Gathering, you buy yourself a booster pack, you've got a random chance. Now you can spend 100 gold to get a random scroll of any type, or you can spend 175 gold to get a random scroll of each one of the factions, order, growth, or energy. Or the best way to accumulate cards, and what I've been typically doing, is purchasing these scroll packs, which work just like a booster pack. It's going to be 10 scrolls picked randomly from each faction, but the good thing is you're going to get a bunch of commons, 2 uncommons, and 1 rare. So it's just like a booster pack in other trading card games where you're guaranteed a rare, a couple of uncommons, and then a bunch of commons. This is really how you fill up your library in this game. This is how you're going to get most cards and scrolls, and as you can see, there is no shard association with it. All of this is only purchasable through in-game gold. So the takeaway from that is, most of the card acquisition in Scrolls is only done with in-game gold. You can't spend real money to buy a crap ton of scroll packs, and honestly they could have done that, because that's how other, you look at Magic the Gathering Online or the digital card game, and I'm sorry but I'm not very familiar with a ton of other trading card games, but at least in Magic it's the case where with Magic Online you do buy booster packs, you spend real money to purchase booster packs. Here in Scrolls that's not the case. Only in-game currency is how you're going to really fill up your library, because you can only buy one of each pre-constructed deck, you can't buy multiple of them, and you can only buy one of these just for you cards, or you can only buy them every 7 days basically. So again, it's not like you're going to get an entire play set of every single card in the game right away. You just can't do it. Technically, I suppose, you can make the argument that over time, as these cards continue to rotate, you could eventually just purchase every single one. But the fact that they only rotate every 7 days means, are you just not playing the game? Because if you're playing the game, you're probably going to get most of those cards just from purchasing scroll packs anyways. And speaking of purchasing scroll packs, I saved up some gold just to show you guys how it works. So I'm going to buy one of these right here. And then, added to my list, my library, are going to be a bunch of uncommons. And it's just randomly from each of the factions. And then a bunch of commons. And then we're going to get into a few uncommons in a moment. I'm just looking at the frang because I think I figured out that's how it works. Okay, so here's some uncommons. We've got the Crimson Bull here. We've got the Gravehawk. And then the rare card, the End of Reason. Let's take a look at what this is. Sacrifice all units you control with a non-zero countdown. Each unit sacrificed this way deals 2 damage to opponent units in the same row. That's unbelievable. So again, most of the card or the scroll acquisition in this game is done through these scroll packs. That's how you're going to be getting most of your scrolls. I don't think this game is pay to win at all, at least not in its current iteration. We've got to keep in mind that the beta's just started, so the store could change drastically before release, but if it stays the way it is now, it's looking pretty good. There's also a whole trading system here in this game, and you can also sell cards that you've purchased. So you've got your full library of cards, and you can sell them on the market, and people can purchase them. So that's another thing that you can do. I think people can purchase them. I know that you can individually sell them, and I know that there's trading in this game, so I'm just assuming that that's specifically how it works. But I'll look into that further, the trading system, and we'll cover that in a future video. Also in future videos coming out this week as we continue our Game of the Week coverage, we'll be taking a look at the deck builder, we'll be taking a look at the 3 different factions and sort of how they function. They each have sort of a unique flavor and different types of cards, and then we'll also be taking a look at some multiplayer. So thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, this has been Force with our Game of the Week coverage here of Scrolls, the digital card game from Mojang, and I'm liking it. It's continuing to keep me really entertained, and I'm looking forward to providing you guys more coverage. All right, see you guys later. Keep watching and keep owning. Take it easy.